With an increase in cases of gender-based violence, let us look at what gender-based violence is and why we need to have this conversation more oftenly. My name is Mbale Sarafina and welcome back to Open Talks with Sisi. Remember to subscribe if you have not. So gender-based violence is violence that is directed to an individual based on either his or her biological identity, and these can be physical, sexual, verbal, emotional, psychological, and economic, and these can either happen in public or even in private life. So why do we really need to talk about this violence? When you look at statistics, 1 in every 3 women have experienced either physical or sexual violences in their lifetime. But this is just the information that we have when it comes to physical and sexual. But look at now the psychological damage. Remember, this violence can occur to any individual, regardless of where they come from, regardless of their religion, their sexuality, their race, and even their gender identity. In as much as we say that women are more likely to experience violence, well, boys and even men also experience gender-based violence, and all these effects can either be physical, mental, economic, or the social effects. An individual who is experiencing or has experienced violence is known as a victim or a survivor. And from this violence, one can be prevented from achieving the economic prosperity. This can be because of the stigma or even the physical or psychological trauma that is caused by violence. Worldwide, gender-based violence prevalence is mainly due to gender inequality, which really disempowers women, girls, and individuals from minority groups. In most communities, culture still plays a very big role when it comes to an increase in cases of gender-based violence, as most women and girls and also men cannot stand up and speak when they experience these violences. These cases include female genital mutilation in certain communities within Kenya and even Nigeria. We have early marriage, rape, and sexual violence also within the Kenyan communities, United States communities, and more. We also have violence such as honor killings, and this happens mostly in Pakistan. So the cases of violence are happening worldwide, and you and me have a role in ensuring that we can stop, or we can prevent, or we can reduce these cases. So what are the main things that we need to know? You as an individual, what do you need to know when we are working with the victims of gender-based violence? Well, the main thing that we need to understand is that anyone can be a victim of gender-based violence, and therefore any time while listening or rather talking to a survivor, we need to do this with respect. Let us also remember that we need to be aware of the different services that are being offered within the environment that we are staying. Let us know where the health facilities are, where the police station is, maybe where a counseling center is, so that anytime we come across these cases, we are able to refer to an individual that is going to give help to this individual. While also talking to a survivor, remember just to give a listening ear. It's very important not to be judgmental and not to be discriminative, regardless of how this individual is, maybe the race, the religion, gender, the sex, and even his or her identity. Anytime you need to always ask for permission even before you do a referral for this individual. Let them give you consent that yes, they really know that they require this service and they want to get that service. So not forcing this survivor will help you to have an approach that is known as a survivor-centered approach. regardless of the type of violence one may have undergone, make sure that you are able to refer them maybe to a health facility so that they can get medical care, maybe to a counselor so that they can get that therapy, even to a police for them to report this matter, or you can offer them this support by just listening to them without judging them, listening to them without really not trusting what they are saying. So when we talk about survivor-centered approach, we need to look at how you are talking to the survivor with respect, because in as much as they have undergone a certain kind of abuse, they are still human beings who need to be treated as human beings, and therefore respect is very key. Ensuring safety of this survivor is also very key. For example, if this individual is still not in a safe environment, you need to ensure that you place them or you refer them to a safe place where they are feeling they're safe and they can talk without really being in fear. Confidentiality is very, very key when talking to a survivor. Any information that you are given by a survivor, you need to treat it. You need to handle it with utmost privacy so that they can continue entrusting in you. This is the only way one is able to continue opening up and telling you how everything happened, if you are able to keep their story confidential. Non-discrimination and non-stigmatization is also something you need to look at while approaching or talking to a survivor. They need to feel that love. They need to feel there's someone who is going to listen to them without really judging them. And then always remember that you need to protect the identity and also the safety of survivor. We have a lot of cases or abuse cases that are so sensitive, and therefore even while representing this survivor, maybe in court, you need to ensure you are always protecting his or her identity so that they don't feel that shame, they don't feel that discrimination, and also they don't feel like they are now termed as just victims of violence. It is my role, it is your role to stand up and speak out whenever we see these cases of violence.